Hi everyone, I just wanted to make a little video about how I have personally healed some of the physical issues of my body with quantum physics. So this past year, or kind of year and a half, I heavily got into Joe Dispenza. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but he's a neurologist. He was a physical therapist. I don't think he practices anymore, but basically he had a very bad accident with a semi-truck when he was doing a marathon, and he shattered his entire spine. Literally, the entire thing was paralyzed from literally from here down. Like, he had no feeling in his body. So, of course, he was literally just sitting on a couch and had to plan for his surgery, which everyone recommended him to do. And something in him told him to not do it. And what he decided to basically do, which he had never really thought about before, he had never thought about this before, but he was being called to kind of focus his mind on a healing energy, the best way I could describe it, or the quantum field, which the quantum field is something that surpasses all time. You could call it the present time, like the present. So the present moment, the moment that we are living in right now. You're not distracted on the future. You're not distracted on the past. You're not thinking about the issues wrong with your body. You're not thinking about if they're going to be like this forever. So with that time that he had, because he had all the time in the world, he couldn't move, he started visualizing his spine in his head, like full on visualizing every vertebrae and going through and imagining that he was healing it one by one, vertebrae by vertebrae, for weeks. And the only reason I'm telling you this because this is going to help me explain how I healed some of the stuff that was wrong with my body. So for weeks, he visualized these things and gradually went up his spine and was presently believing and feeling like he was healing. Now, this isn't easy stuff. I'm not saying close your eyes and visualize and you're just going to heal right away. I'm not saying that. For some people, it might be like that. But he really got himself into this state of presence where he knew he was healing, that he was already healed. He got himself into a state of believing that healing that he was looking for was already within him. So he would go up his vertebrae and literally imagine like them kind of combining back together and healing themselves and being able to walk, like feeling as if he could already walk, feeling as if he could get up off of that couch. And what do you know? A few weeks go by and gradually he's able to move his legs. Then he's able to get up, and then he's able to walk, and he literally healed his entire spine through the act of transformational quantum physics in that realm, which quantum physics, I'll give you a little example of how scientists kind of discovered this field. So they took an atom, and they took, I believe they split a proton. It could have been it could have been another molecule, but I believe it was a proton. And I don't know how they do this shit, but you can look it up. They took one part of that proton and put it on this side of the world. And they took the other proton and put it on the other side of the world. And they wanted to see if when they did something to this proton over here, if it would act upon the same way with that other proton. And it did. I think they zapped it, and it zapped the other one at the same amount of time. There was no time that it took to reach. Basically, that proton was reacting at that same exact time, like past the speed of light. It was feeling that same exact thing that the other proton was feeling. So through this, they kind of discovered that there was a field that was faster than the speed of light, which could also be implemented for healing purposes. So there is a level in this life where anyone who's sick is already healed. Like that cell has the ability to heal within that exact moment through the quantum field of feeling as if it is already healed. If you want to look into Joe Dispenza's work, go ahead, look up Joe Dispenza testimonials too if you want to hear people's stories about how they healed their Alzheimer's, their Parkinson's, their cancer. The list goes on. But anyways, even though I don't fully understand this, I'm not a scientist, I believed it. Something really resonated within me that this could heal, in this case scenario, my stomach. I had irritable bowel syndrome, and I've done this with other things since then. So I started sitting down with myself and imagining that, and feeling and reaching a state where I felt my stomach is healed. I am genuinely healed right now. And I would do this every single day. I would get myself into a calm state, a relaxed state, and I would just believe and make myself bring that emotion out within me in the present moment that I was healed. And what do you know? Till this day, I haven't had any issues with irritable bowel syndrome. Now, if I were to go back to my thought patterns of thinking of where I felt sick, where I felt like I was going to have this gut issue forever, I would go back to that state. So I'm not saying it's going to heal you forever. You have to change your mind, and you got to eat good. You got to be an all-around healthy person mentally and physically. So that is just one example. I got into working out heavily, and I actually ended up pulling some part of my shoulder. And your shoulder connects to a lot of areas of your upper body, so it really started messing up my arm. I would get tingles down my arm. I had all these issues. I could barely even, I remember driving and not being able to lift my arm up to the steering wheel because it would, I'd get this tingly shock down my entire arm, and I literally couldn't do it. So then I was like, all right, let's do this again. If I can do this once, I can do this with anything. And shoulder is something that's really hard to heal, at least in the Western way that they try to do it. So I would sit down again. I would imagine my shoulder muscles. I actually looked up a picture before I got into the meditation so I could really know what it looked like. And every day, I would visualize those ligaments and those muscles just healing. And then I would also pair that with, so I would set an intention that I am healed, and then I would try to reach that emotion that I felt healed. And I would do this every day. And over the course of a month and a half, I'd say, I was good. Ever since, this is the shoulder, ever since I can do whatever, it's totally fine. And some people might just be like, oh, it probably just healed. No, I had this shoulder injury for a year. I was debating even getting a surgery at some point when I was really, really stressed about it. And I swear to God, I did this on my own. I didn't take anything. I literally healed it with my thought and my emotions. So then I was happy and healed for a while, and I also practiced stretching. I practiced exercising. I practiced trying to eat as much whole foods as possible, so that really does aid in my body being able to maintain its homeostasis as well as being able to produce my serotonin and all my happy chemicals that I need to produce my healthy thoughts, because your gut-brain barrier probably produces 70%, I think, of your serotonin in your body, which isn't talked about a lot, but basically the foods you eat really, really, really do impact your thoughts. So with these things that I was adding to my life and maintaining, I felt like I was getting stronger in my ability to heal any issues that came across me. So then I had an issue probably a few months ago where, I don't know if you know, but through your whole leg you have a, what is it called? A nerve, the sciatic nerve, which goes all the way down to your foot. And for some reason, I literally could not walk on my foot. I woke up one day and I was walking and I had a whole shock go through my entire leg, and I couldn't put any weight on that foot. And I remember freaking out. And because when you get into that state of panic, when you feel like, oh my God, I'm going to have this forever. You wake up, you have an issue, and you don't think automatically, oh, okay, it's going to be fine. I literally couldn't walk on my foot. I was freaking out. And then I was like, Paige, you've done this before. Yes, this is a different scenario, but you've done this before. Sit down, relax, and focus on that state of healing, the quantum, which is what it's really what it is. The quantum is the present. It's the ability to literally get rid of the aspect of time and heal yourself right then and there, as then compared to thinking of things in a linear way where you're like, okay, gradually I'm going to heal this over a year or blah blah blah, whatever length you want to set on it. With quantum healing, it's more so like you believe right then and there you are healed. So anyways, I sat down, grabbed my favorite rock, of course, grabbed a Lemurian quartz, and I just started imagining myself. I kind of wandered off into this state of my meditation where I was just like watching myself stretch and being able to run and walk and not feel my foot hurting at all. Like that wasn't even a thought in my mind. And this is the first time where I actually healed myself in one sitting. I had such a transcendental experience, I think that's a good way to put it, that I just felt so happy. I actually started crying. And I just felt good. Like I felt great. And I came out of my meditation because I felt like I was ready. And I just started stretching. And what do you know? My foot was fine. That nerve wasn't being frantic and freaking out and shocking me down my whole body. And since then, I think I felt like one weird thing the next day, and that was it. But I didn't let myself attach onto that. So I literally just let it go, and I was like, I'm healed. Like, Paige, like, stop telling yourself other shit. Like, you are healed. You are happy. You are blessed. Like, I was just so grateful. And through all of these experiences, I'm sure there's probably going to be more down the road, I've really learned that we as humans have a lot more power than we give ourselves credit. And I don't want to make a controversial statement. I mean, this video is probably completely controversial, but I really do believe that the reason why this type of thinking is uncommon, and even though it is becoming more common, these teachings, I think it's because you can't profit off of these things. You can't profit off of someone who can heal themselves. And I'm not saying you can heal everything. I don't know. I'm just a girl that's healed some shit that was serious to me that really affected my day-to-day life health-wise. And what this showed me was that I can take the responsibility myself and work on these things that I'm going through myself, whether it's even just negative thoughts and it's not even physical. I have the choice to sit down with myself and look at myself and realize what I'm doing, detach from that negative thought, and feel healed. And I just want everyone to know and believe that they can do the same thing. I know this isn't everyone's cup of tea. I know that, but I just feel like I had to share this because I feel like there's people out there who maybe had a similar circumstance or a similar experience where they healed something they did and they felt kind of crazy. But I'm telling you, it's real. And the more and more I practice getting myself into that state of presence and relaxation and just knowing that I am okay and I'm healed and I'm blessed and I'm so grateful that it is possible. Anything is really possible, I guess. So yeah, I hope this made you happy or have a better outlook on some stuff that you might be going through. But seriously, like, when in doubt, sit down with yourself, set an intention, and reach that emotion. Reach that positive emotion of healing that your mind, your analytical mind wants to feel. Separate yourself from the wanting and just feel it. Just feel that positive emotion, and I promise you, it'll bring you some type of joy and happiness or possibly healing. So yeah, have a good day.